Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 49. This being only episodes 22-24 of Denziman. The first episode of this one is mostly put all about clocks. Yes, and a little bit of time travel. Yes, I think this is possibly the first time that Super Sentai has ever dealt with time travel. And you're probably thinking, okay, how far back they go? Only 4 years. Yes, 4 years prior to events this. The episode is kind of focused on Denzi Green, kind of, where it's like, okay, we start off with this guy. We start off with the monster of this episode, this clock monster, who is tasked to free a death row inmate. And why is they free him? Well, apparently the plan is revealed actually toward the end of the episode is that they kidnap various criminals to turn them into cavemen, very angry cavemen, in order to take over the world. It's probably by far the most interesting plan they've actually done so far, turning criminals into angry cavemen, rearranging their chromosomes, and they basically become a slave race, actually later in the episode. So then Degree infiltrates the place and then excuse me, fights the clock monster, and he's sent back in time 4 years, where he ends up catching a criminal on most wanted list, and according to Shinko, when he arrives back to present day, according to her, he received a commendation for that. I'm like, that's actually pretty good. Yes, an officer would definitely get something like that for catching someone on the most wanted list. Except when she reveals that, yeah, that was true, but that was 4 years prior. And then he visits his father's grave, and of course he's not exactly remember yet, and then of course, they figure, okay, they try to have him remember their names, nope, doesn't work. So, go see IC. And IC kind of in a way restores his memories. And then he infiltrates the group again. This time, though, he uses the clock to peek into the future, see what the plan is. And that's where the caveman stuff comes in. And of course, he beats the crap out of him, eventually goes giant size, and he's eventually defeated. And here's something weird, though. Like, the girls he actually breaks out of prison, they disappear. They are, apparently, according to the closing credits, they're never heard from again. I'm like, really? He basically free from prison, like pretty much 10 death, probably 10 people who were probably on death row, honestly. Excuse me. And he released it and then he just disappeared. Possibly go back to caveman times, who the heck knows? It's one of the most interesting and most exciting episodes I've seen so far. Okay. But what about episode 23? Well, this is one of the gross episodes. It's like, okay, let's have the monster of the episode, who, by the way, he is referred to as Monster 22 in episode 23. Yeah. Let's see if I can find him here. Denziman. Yeah. This one features an old friend of, well, yeah, features no friend of Blue. Yes, this is probably the third person to come across no friend of his. And he is a pack rat. The guy apparently doesn't bathe, doesn't brush his teeth, doesn't do his laundry. And you're thinking, really? Oh yes, really. As for why the heck it's like this, don't really know. Not really. And here's something interesting though. The guy who plays Wasaru, who's the guy one shot character, yeah, he's the annoying guy from Jack. Yes. That's why I kind of recognize him. I'm like, so they bring him back this time to play a one shot character. I'm like, really? Yeah, really. Yeah, his character was like super annoying in Jack. And it takes him like a couple years later to finally come back. I'm like, okay. Yeah, they bring him back for this one character. Where I don't think he appears again in the series. I think this is his sole appearance. Yeah, and this is a very similar type episode. We have characters kind of becoming caveman. And Yeah, and being on a place that's similar to Planet Vader, I'm like, okay. Like, what the heck did Planet Vader look like? It was basically this crap hole, and apparently the Queen herself loves this crap hole. For some reason, I have no idea why. It's by far one of the most baffling things related to this. Now, in the case of the Monster Spirits one, the Timler, who is who's actually the 20 Monster 21, who appears in episode 22. Ugh. The Gross Monster Killer, he's actually Monster 22, so 21, 22, okay. And 23. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry about that. Anyways, yes. And of course, you have the guy who appears in the next one, who is the 25th monster in episode 24. It's like, really? Yeah, it's like, yeah, 2022 appear in 22 and 23 respectively, and you have 25 hub up in 24. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, the 24 is a very petty episode. Yes. Yeah, but it's a good character piece for Denzi Blue. I appreciate it. Though it feels like a pretty much a retread of the very previous episode, kind of, but not exactly the same. Next one definitely feels like a freaking retread. Oh, good gosh, yes, like that same exact thing. We have Denzi Blue takes the kid to a show, and something bad happens to them. Well, they'll get toothaches. And you're thinking, wait, this sounds very familiar. Yes, feels like the film monster from episode 8. Yes, seriously. It is by far one of the most baffling things related to this. Yes. I don't really know why. Yeah, so it's like, oh, let's use a sense of basically see a potential movie. Let's see a strongman show for reasons. Yes, reasons. And the plot of this episode is so stupid. We have Queen Hedger just brushing her teeth. Kind of odd thing to open on. And like, oh, I got the prettiest teeth in the universe. And then we have this like this this contest that awards someone with the most beautiful smile, like actually the most beautiful teeth. I'm like, this type of award doesn't really exist. I've heard of smile awards, but this is so dumb. Like, apparently this little girl's teeth is perfect. Now, the thing with me is, when it comes to my teeth, I take very good care of my teeth. I brush them very thoroughly every time I brush them. And apparently this girl's not allowed to have sweets. What, she have braces or something? Where apparently she doesn't eat cotton candy, and yet her tooth starts aching. Here's the thing. She never tasted the cotton candy. It never touched her mouth at all. And yet somehow, and this is never explained in the whole episode, the kids who are with them, including kind of Denzi Blue, they all get like excuse me. They all get toothaches. Like, one of the most weirdest ones is like, oh, let's have this little cloth tied top of their head. Like, wow, it's a good thing we don't have toothaches like to have to deal with that like nowadays. Also, since when do dentists wear this little like mirror thing on their face? My dentist doesn't do that at all. He has like a little one. He does need a big one to have the patient look at their own damn teeth. Yeah, and also, I'm sure this is probably just Japan, but yeah, in here, when I go to dentist's office, when I go get my cleaning done, they put like a pat, like almost like a bib on me, which is like a metal chain around it, and they usually use that to wipe off the tools, mostly anyways, and also keep the shirt clean too. We always wear a shirt. And they clean thoroughly, do thorough cleaning. They floss it. There's a joke about flossing in the episode. Oh yeah, and by the way, this is a toothbrush monster. And I'm thinking, okay, apparently Queen Heather got cavities. Like, if she basically doesn't like stuff that's nice and pristine, then why does she care about her teeth? And this whole thing of getting this little girl's teeth because it's so perfect is so petty. And I'm surprised that none of the Rangers point out, though, that, hey, your queen's very, very petty about this. Nobody points this out at all. It's by far the most baffling things. Also, because this guy has a toothbrush monster, his weapon is a giant toothbrush with apparently some magic toothpaste on it that apparently brushes on the Rangers' helmets. I thought that was a really cool visual. Yeah, because usually they don't usually affect the helmets very much. It's the first time I can think of that I've seen when the helmets make it that much. Yeah. Though eventually they do also repeat something in different episode 21. Namely, have the monster into a head and start like attacking the Rangers from the head. Just using the head to attack them. But he doesn't bite them per se. Nope. And then of course Denzi Blue must have realized it's like, okay, let's use like a drill and just basically attack them with the feet. I'm like, okay. Yep. Oh yeah, but at least they don't do it in giant mode where the the monsters turn into a giant head like the shark monster does. This guy doesn't do that. Nope, doesn't. Eventually he is defeated. Though the way to defeat is like, oh, let's say the soldiers whack their head and then somehow by magic they get sliced in half. I'm like, okay. Interesting. Yes, it is by far one of the most baffling episodes I've seen. But we do have something coming up. In the very next episode, the 50th episode of the Super Sentai Review series, I'm going to review the Denzi film. Yes, I'm going to review that very next episode. I was thinking to a comic corner, but I figured though, I'll save it for tomorrow. I'll just go ahead and watch the Denzi movie, okay? Thanks for the video. Bye.